So for my presentation today, I wrote my paper on what natural law meant to Cicero and the several implications for that, and how it contrasts with Dr. King. So to begin, I will go over who Cicero was. So Cicero is a political philosopher who was born in 106 BCE and was a Roman statesman, lawyer, but most importantly known as a philosopher. He was also known as a great communicator, which he widely influenced Western civilization. So, it's an idea of who Cicero was. And before we head in on what these several implications are, I think it's nice to know just what natural law meant to him. So, natural law is unchangeable, eternal law of divine origin, universal morality, reflected in nature, and known by reason, and it's a transcendent standard. So, what this kind of shows is that how deeply rooted Cicero was within his work, and it also, this also means that like human instincts are, if human instincts are universal, then men can perceive the natural law. So now that you have an idea of what natural law is, I'll start with several implications of what that means. So the first one being not all human laws are equally just. Pretty much what this means is like it's about governments, right? Governments have the power to make these laws, and oftentimes they don't make it fair or things that align with what Cicero believes, right? Just because governments have this power to make laws, that does not mean that they should do it out of selfishness or things that benefit themselves, but rather things that benefit the common good, which will lead us into our next point, which is commonwealth. So commonwealth is a concern of the people, and what unites people is commonwealth. What unites people's commonwealth is the community interest and the agreement of law, right? If everybody is united and sticks together, then there will be less of a need to revolt, or there will be less feelings of oppression, right? Remember, the commonwealth of people is making sure that everyone else is good and that things can live by these standards. And then the last point of that is that Cicero himself believed that a mixed regime is what would pretty much cause it, was like what would make it make it good, right? And number three, if it is not just by nature, it's not just at all. This means that as a political authority is still bound by law, and things like lavish distribution may be necessary, but it has to uphold virtue, right? And so if it's not just, if it doesn't uphold the basic things of the law, then it doesn't work. Number four, nature is the standard. It's the highest measure of law and nature. It's also said that's embedded in nature and prohibits injustice and things like that. Lawmakers cannot be selfish when creating these laws. Ethical relativism is the fifth one. Ethical relativism and unwarranted. Law is unchangeable. Law is eternal and unchangeable. So Cicero believes things like tradition and culture cannot change the standards of law. It cannot. So and number six, justice is good and worth pursuing. So what this means what Cicero believes that is that knowledgeable people should use their understanding to protect the common good and save their government, right? Knowledgeable people are usually leaders, and you should lead others to virtue. And then lastly, avoid any hint of avarice. Avarice can corrupt officials, making them very greedy and selfish, and exploit their power to have selfish desires and do what they want. And then lastly, we'll quickly go over how this contrasts with Dr. King. The letter from Birmingham, Dr. King suggests that an unjust law is a human law not rooted in internal law. This pretty much means that moral injustice is eternal, and aligns moral principles, and opposite, and it's pretty much opposite morals don't align with that at all. So that's my thing, and thank you for listening.